Hey everyone, I'm Summer, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about visibility, communication, influence, and how to turn expertise into real impact. This is a part of my Teach Me Something playlist where I have conversations with experts who help us understand not just how to get attention, but also to create genuine connection and trust and action. And today's conversation is especially important for us coaches or speakers, authors, and entrepreneurs who are speaking, presenting, and showing up online all the time. But they're wondering, like, why is great engagement not translating into actual clients or conversions? My guest today is Florence Callender. Hello, Florence. So nice to have you on my show.
It's my pleasure.
And Florence is a neurocommunication strategist who helps coaches turn speaking engagement into paying clients. After 25 years of being a speech language pathologist, Florence discovered something very fascinating. Audiences don't hesitate because they are not interested, but mostly because the messages that we give are not structured for how the brain processes things, like certainty, value, and trust, and all those things. So, through her message method, which is MESSAGE, it's a framework, she has trademarked this message method. And also, she has brain friendly message score. She helps experts close the gap between applause and booked calls by creating communication that actually lands and converts. So, Florence, one thing that you say caught my attention, that a great talk always doesn't automatically mean it's a profitable talk. So a lot of people think that if the audience laughs and explodes and say, that was amazing, that was a successful talk. But I've heard you say, like, clarity converts better than charisma. So what is that silent conversion killer most speakers are normally overlooking?
The silent killer is what I call the applause gap.
Yeah, applause gap.
So,
I like the word.
yes, imagine a speaker who just delivered to a packed room. So,
Mm.
I'm talking about an in-person delivery. People are nodding, they're laughing, they're taking notes, and at the end, some of them even stand up and applaud.
Mm.
The speaker then goes home thinking, wow, this is going to bring me clients. I knocked it out of the park.
Mm.
But they check their inbox that night, nothing. The next
Nothing.
morning, nothing. 3 days later, still no new clients.
Mm.
So then you're asking, well, how can a talk feel so successful in the room, but fail to turn listeners into clients?
Mm.
Most people assume that the problem was maybe the close, so they fix that, the offer, they fix that, or the speaker may say, I need to speak with more confidence.
Mm.
But often that's not the real issue. The
Mm.
real issue is that people enjoyed the talk while it was happening, but
Mm.
they didn't understand the message clearly enough to buy.
Ah.
And that is the applause gap, the gap between audience enjoyment and
Mm.
audience conversion.
Mm.
Applause tells you people liked the experience.
Mm.
It does not prove that they received the information their brain needed to
Mm.
trust you, to understand your value to them, and to buy from you. And this is where many speakers lose clients without even realizing it. And this is because
Mm.
they build their message for their own brain. We
Yeah.
usually talk how we process things. And
Mm.
so to them, it feels obvious. They should have understood what I said.
Yeah.
But the room is full of different kinds of thinkers.
Mm.
And people need different things in order to decide, I am going to buy from her. I am going to
Mm.
buy from him.
That is huge, isn't it? It changes the way people think about communications totally, because so many of us, even me sometimes, we focus on performing than processing the people's minds.
Mhm.
You also say every brain needs something specific before saying yes. So, what, in your opinion, is happening inside the brain of the listener during a presentation that determines whether they can take action or simply enjoy the talk and move on?
So that's an important question because most people assume
Mm.
listeners are all hearing the same talk,
Yeah.
but they are not.
Mm.
So if you can picture two speakers,
Mm.
they are on the same stage, they are presenting the same topic, and they have the same energy. So people are leaning in to their message. One walks away with 3 clients and the other one walks away with a video clip and a few compliments and no clients. They were in the same room, same audience, same offer. Completely different results. So what made the difference? Most people would guess that maybe it was their confidence or the charisma. Maybe they had different levels of charisma. Maybe one had a stronger close or better stage presence, as you referred to earlier, or their delivery was just better. No, they were exactly the same. What happens is that some speakers spend years chasing those things I just mentioned, but the gap still remains. So the big question is, what did that one speaker do to earn a yes, while the other one created just appreciation?
Okay.
The difference wasn't just the speaker's delivery. It was how the message landed. We need to be concerned, not just with how we deliver a message or how we perform, but how that message is received. There are 4 completely different communication processing styles sitting in every audience. Wow. Every listener is silently asking a different question inside of them, and you need to answer that question. So the person who is an analytical thinker, they're asking, can you prove it? Show me the evidence. Then we have practical thinkers who are asking, how does this work? Show me the steps. Give me a roadmap. There's the relational thinker, and that person is asking, will this work for me? Show me people like me who has done this. They're looking for an emotional connection. And then you have the visionary thinker who is asking, ooh, what's possible? Show me where this lands. What I find is that most speakers, they may give some evidence and they focus on the visionary. They're showing the big picture, but they miss some others. So the speaker in my little story at the beginning who converted, she built 4 different off-ramps or on-ramps for her message. Wow. So every brain found an entry point. The other speaker, although she was brilliant, she only built 1 on-ramp. So up to 3/4 of the room couldn't find the door. So what's happening in your listener's brain is that they're scanning for the kinds of information they need to feel clear enough to say yes to you. When they don't get the answer that their brain is looking for, they don't raise their hand and say, excuse me, my processing style was not served. They don't do that.
They don't do
You're
that.
not going to know. They just delay. And if you speak with them afterwards, they'll tell you something like, oh, that was really good, or I'll think about it. And if you're more direct in asking them about working with you, they'll say, oh, can I have your business card? I'll check out your website later.
Yeah.
Now we know that delayed decisions often become lost decisions.
Yes.
People don't go back to make the decision because they don't remember. Confused minds don't buy.
Correct.
And so that's the hidden problem that most speakers are working with, and they do not even realize it. It's invisible to them.
Correct. Oh my God, this point landed hugely to me. Could people have like 2 different kinds of points that, styles of perceiving? Like while you were speaking, I thought I was relational as well as analytical.
So
that could be a combination.
The thing is, we all process those 4 ways, but each of us has a preferred way that we process. So when we are listening to a speech and we need to make a buying decision, our premier processor is the one who shows up and runs the show in our brain.
Okay.
So so you'll find when I'm asking questions, but I ask that question sometimes, but just think about the last talk you sat through and which was the one question that surfaced more, that was stronger than the others.
I'm pondering over this. There's huge lessons to be learned here because I speak a little bit. I don't consider myself a speaker as such, but we all need to speak to offer, to deliver an offer or something like that. But probably if I go through your talk again and again, at least a couple of times, it lands differently in my head. And I could process my speaking in a way that I would think like, would it land with every single person in here?
That's right. Because the bottom line is the sale is won or lost by the question you never knew they were asking.
That is right. Yeah. See, I never approached it from that perspective. You also keep saying this one thing: applause is an incomplete metric for success. So if audience reaction is not a real measurement, what should speakers and coaches be measuring instead?
Yeah. So this is where a lot of speakers accidentally fool themselves. Because when a speaker finishes their talk and the room feels amazing, you can feel the energy in the room when people really like your talk. So if it's a virtual talk, you see all these comments in the chat, things like game changer. Oh, I needed this today. This was so powerful. So all of this affirmation makes you feel good. People are clapping, they're giving you jazzy hands, they're complimenting you. And what a lot of speakers do, I mean, I've done this when I got those types of comments. You screenshot it, and then you make your post later and include the screenshots. But the thing is, even though you go to bed that night thinking, well, that worked, if 3 weeks later you still have no new clients, then you're going to be saying, wait, they loved it. So why didn't they convert? Well, most speakers assume that they need to change the talk, that they did something wrong. Now, sometimes they do need to change and tweak certain things, but often the problem is not the talk. The problem is the metric they were using. Applause measures reaction in the moment. Conversion measures understanding. So the applause was only telling them how the people felt in the room at the time. It doesn't tell them whether your message was clear enough so they could travel with it and they could tell someone else about it. So what I teach speakers to measure are 3 things. Measure your clarity, measure retention, and measure action. So by clarity, what I mean is you need to have one core idea in your talk that you want people to learn, you want people to go away with. So did they get that one core idea? Get it enough that if someone asks them outside of the room, what was that talk really about? They can say it in a simple sentence. That's clarity. By retention, I mean, can they remember it tomorrow? If they loved you in the moment, but they cannot remember the message you gave later, that message did not stick. If you spoke in the way they processed, they will remember it. And action means, do they know the next step?
Was there a clear call to
action? Do they know what you want them to do in order for them to work with you? And that you need to present that in 4 different ways, because you need to tell the analytical and the practical, the relational and the visionary person what the next step is in their language. Because inspiration without direction usually disappears.
It's useless. Yeah.
It disappears. And so that's why I say a standing ovation, applause, that's not proof of clarity. People don't buy the message they hear. They buy the message they understand.
So when you measure clarity, what unit of measurement do you use? Like, let me measure clarity and retention and action. So did people actually take action? How many people took action? I get that. And retention, how would you measure that? Because your audience listens to you and then walks away. And the same with the first one, the clarity. How would you figure out whether your message landed clearly or not?
Okay, so you know your message landed clearly if you had one core idea and someone in your audience is able to clearly state in a simple sentence what your talk was all about.
So asking generally in public, what did you think of this? Exactly. How would you say that?
What did you get from her talk?
What did you get from this? Yes.
Or what was her talk all about? I heard all this applause in there. What was her talk all about? If that person can clearly articulate in one simple sentence what your talk was about, then you hit the clarity button. You can check off the clarity box. Now, in the matter of retention, Usually, I teach my speakers to have a memorable framework. People remember frameworks.
Yes.
And you want to keep it, you make sure that whatever the name of the framework is something that will stick.
Yes.
So, for example, I went to a meeting on Wednesday, and the man taught us a framework called Speak. And for each letter, it had a meaning. So I remember, I can tell you, oh, he talked about speaking, and he said S stands for do, and tell you what each one is. I have a framework that I teach called Q, C-U-E, where Q stands for clarity, U stands for understanding, and E stands for execution. So when I make a talk, when I give a talk and I use that, people remember, oh, she talked about Q. And in order for people to take action, they need a clear next step. You've got to guide them. You have to tell people what you want them to do. They are not
and what is
automatically
message?
going to know.
Yes. What is message then? What does message stand for?
So the message method that I have, M is for make one core claim, which you heard me talk about the core claim before.
Yes, yes.
You know, I've been talking about that from the time we were here. So M is for the core claim. E is engage analytical thinkers.
Yes.
That's the first E. The first S is structure for practical thinkers. The second S is speak to relational thinkers. The A is activate visionary thinkers. The G is guide every brain. And the last E is end with a clear call to action.
You're brilliant, Florence. You're simply brilliant. This talk was so profound. And I know this is going to be one of the talks that I'm going to be listening again and again from my own channel. This conversation, in my opinion, reframes what effective communication should look like. Not just sound good and be inspiring, get a lot of applause and become very successful. It doesn't work.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't have to get technical. Just remember the brain loves simplicity.
Yes. So create clarity, trust, and action in the minds of people that are listening.
Yep.
So thank you so much. This was like super, super, super talk. You guys, my audience, if this resonated with you, go connect with Florence and explore her message method, along with her incredible work that she's doing with brain-friendly communication and conversion-focused speaking. Florence, do you have something special for my audience?
Yes, I do. When we begin to assess our talks based on the information I gave, you may want to know, well, what is my message structure? Am I speaking to every brain? Am I simple enough? I have a brain-friendly message score, and it only takes 3 minutes to fill out. And it tells you, you plug in information about your talk, and it tells you which brain in the audience, which processing style you're actually addressing and which ones you're missing. And so you find that at flowsquiz.com. You know, people call me Flo, so flowsquiz.com.
And I'll be putting that link right there in the description. And I think I need that quiz as well. So I'll get that from you like right away.
And you can do it more than once. If you have more than one talk, you can do it for each talk with that specific talk in mind. And you get the results right away. At the end, the result comes right up on the page.
You are excellent. You guys, the links for Florence are right below. Connect with Florence. Explore more about everything that she does. Connect with her on LinkedIn and have a conversation. And if you enjoy these Teach Me Something conversations, make sure you like and subscribe this video, this channel, and share this episode with somebody like, who's a speaker, coach, entrepreneur, who wants their message to truly land among people. Florence, thank you so much for being here with me. I appreciate this talk a lot.
It's my pleasure, Summer. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And you guys, I'll see you in the next one.